think Rollins is so poorly treated. I mean, you go from he's the top guy to now he's not even close. But, I mean, I don't want to say that I'm bored of the current crop of main eventers because I really like how Joe's doing. But if with an eye to the future, if you're looking at, like, who do you want main eventing WrestleMania 10 years, or not 10
Yeah, you can't be focusing on the same 3
now.
Shield guys forever.
Yeah, I mean, the Shield...
Which has really been leading...
That's a crazy fucking thing to say. Jesus Christ.
They've really been leading the pack since 2012.
I don't want to say overexposed, but for as long as you and I have been sitting down talking to each other with a live microphone on, it's been Shield, 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 Shield. And I just had a crazy moment thinking about, like, wow, like, I'm not tired of the Shield, but it's time to get some new blood in there.
They've really been in the main events for the past 3 years.
Overexposed. I don't want to say it, but that might be it. Like,
I wouldn't even say overexposed. It's the same Cena, Orton, Batista syndrome, where you're seeing the same matches. I mean, it still works, and there's still a storyline purpose. We're not seeing random matches. I mean, one turned face for the first time, and now they're all baby faces, and they might reunite. There's still a lot of juice there, but it's the same thing with the Evolution guys we saw with Batista, Orton, and Triple H. Same matches, same feuds, you know, same thing year in and year out, where we saw the same main events focused around those 3 guys. If it wasn't them facing each other, it was one of them in the main events in either brand. And that's really what it's come to with the Shield guys, even 5 years removed from their big debut in WWE. Now it's all 3 guys are former multi-world champions.
Yeah.
We have 5 world championships between them all, or no, 6. 1 with Ambrose, 2 with Rollins, 3 with Reigns. So, and they're all great. I'm not saying de-push them now, but we need more fresh blood. I mean, AJ's good. AJ's awesome. But he's not going to be wrestling forever. So who else can take over beyond those Shield guys, really?
In baseball, this is very apropos because we're around that time in the baseball season. But when you get to the trade deadline in baseball, which is always at the end of July, that's the time when teams who aren't doing well and teams who are doing well decide if they want to buy or if they want to sell. So if you're a first place team and you know there's some parts you want to add to your team to make sure you go all the way to the postseason or WrestleMania or whatever in wrestling terms.
Yeah.
You want to go to the postseason, you buy. You buy pieces that make you buy, you know, you trade for players to make your team better. If you're not doing so hot, you sell and you get it's what I call a rebuild. So it's like there's soft rebuilds and there's hard rebuilds. So like a soft rebuild would be like, all right, like we have a couple pieces here, but we want to get rid of some people so that we'll get some young blood up here and then they can take those spots, right? Mm-hmm. A hard rebuild would be fuck it. Get this whole team out of here. We're getting young guys.
Start from scratch.
We're getting young guys, and 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, we'll be competitive.
Sure.
Is it time for WWE to sell on these Shield guys? I'm not saying a hard sale. I'm not saying get them out of here, get these new guys in here. But I think it's time to start looking at a soft rebuild. I mean, I think I don't want to give myself too. I think I hit the nail kind of on the head. I mean. They said something about Seth Rollins having main evented like how many pay-per-views over the last 3 years. Roman Reigns doesn't leave the main event scene. I mean, these guys have been in the spotlight. And I'm not saying their value. I think Seth Rollins' value has decreased because when I look back on 2015 and the great year that he had, and now he's doing butt fucking nothing, that makes me a little bit mad. But I think it's time for WWE. Treat them like a baseball. It's time for a soft rebuild. Like the core players that you had 3 years ago, they're getting old. They're becoming a little bit old news. It's time to. I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm saying it's have an eye for the future. Invest a little bit in your. If Jason Jordan's one of those guys, he's one of those guys. But I think that, you know, as excited as I was, when was it? WrestleMania 31 was the first time many people said it was the first time I ever thought like, oh, Shield triple threat main event. That's your minimum in WrestleMania 30. Mm-hmm. And those days are so far gone. I Shield triple threat main event. I mean, that would be cool, but
well, I mean, we had it. It's done.
Yeah, it's happened. But I mean,
that was the end of that era, I think, in WWE. I know Roman's still being focused on. Yeah, when the triple threat happened at Battleground, almost exactly a year ago at this point, that was it. I mean, Ambrose hasn't been a main event player since, and he's not. I mean, he should be a heel, but he's never going to be the guy in the company. We know that. We saw that with CM Punk. CM Punk had more worth the company than Dean Ambrose, but I do agree all three guys, don't need to be in the main event all the time, but I will say they are part of the core guys in WWE.
Yeah.
Without them, WWE is hurt significantly. They work more house shows than just about anybody. They're there all the time, working the house shows. They're top stars. They're notable names. People are coming to see these guys. Merchandise, absolutely. So without them, WWE is a lot worse off. But you need more core guys like that. Like if they get hurt, who's replacing them?
I guess the point of what I'm just trying to say is I can't believe that there's a time in my life. Well, and I just never thought it would come this quickly. Where I was so high in all three of them. I mean, Roman until 2015. That was when I lost my favorite with them. But I was so ready for. Not to get too far back here, but I wrote an article about the future of WWE. It had to be 3 years ago now. Talking about how Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, those are your three guys to lead the future. I'm not saying they still can't be the future, but I'm saying the future has kind of become the present.
Well, they are the present.
They are the present, but the future has kind of become the present, and sooner or later the present's going to become the past.
Who's the future?
It's going to be. I just can't believe I'm in a time right now where these guys who for so long I looked like these guys are going to be main event in WrestleMania for years to come. Well, now I'm like, well, who else can we get? Who else is available? So it's just an interesting spot to be in.